Why, hello, Internet, and welcome back. It is time for SideQuests Live. We're going to be playing some Dungeons & Dragons Eve of Ruin, or a reasonable facsimile thereof. So we will be ham-fisting, slamming some stuff in from alternate worlds, all very Eve of Ruin, except with a side quest twist. We've got all of our previous campaigns, a lot of our previous characters. Just a quick reminder to the table, who we'll do a quick intro in just a second, but to the table, if you hear a moment and you're in a world where you have a previous character and you want to jump in, please jump. Jump. All right, speaking of all these wonderful people at the table, let's go around real fast and say hi. It's got to be phlegmy, though. Hit it. Hit me with that phlegm.
Who? You didn't say.
I don't know. I just figured you guys would just fight over it.
We're too polite for that. Okay, fine. I'll go first.
South Canada.
I'm Steve. I live in Canada, and that means I'm better than everyone else. And I'm
Throw them bows.
I'm playing His Excellency the Sasquatch. From
Shadowrun.
He's both excellent and a Sasquatch. Yeah, he is from Shadowrun most recently. And,
he's a little special. Yeah, that's fair.
He's a little special. He's I don't know.
Very cool.
So he was interesting. I don't know if I said this last time. He was initially a ranger in the world that he was in before. He's not though. He is, well, as far as he knows, still a mystic or still an adept. We'll see what he ends up as, where he is currently ending up. And that's proper grammar.
Ending up in the ending up. In.
Medical.
All right, let's jump over to Fenris.
Hey, Gordon, playing Fenris, who is a character that went through one of our longest campaigns, Morally Ambiguous, and he is now continuing his journey. This new campaign, a new group, I guess, and I guess we'll see how he fits in, or doesn't fit in. We shall
see. Ha ha ha. All right, and then after that, we've got Gwendolyn.
I'm Judy. I'm playing Gwendolyn, the elf druid.
This I've been watching lots of Critical Role, so you're our little elf girl.
We're enjoying Judy's brevity.
Yep, absolutely. And
that's all you get.
That's it. And then, of course, we've got Bela.
Hello, Internet. I am Bela, and I am playing Isolde, who is a half-elf blood hunter, and she is from our previous game. Oh my god, I forgot the name of our game.
Strange Acquaintances was the...
Strange Acquaintances, yeah.
In the world that I never actually named, so we're just going to keep calling it Tazvarel, because...
Yeah, we never had a name.
The world didn't, but, you know.
Yeah.
All right, and I will be your new DM. All right, let's dive in. Intro credits. Here's the intro credit song. Intro credity. Credits. I think that should be the new, like, it should be it for...
You're like fucking cheeky tonight, man.
I've had
you have like a little drink?
Good.
I'm about to.
More alcohol and caffeine.
Let's go. When we last met in our last episode of SideQuests Live, these intrepid heroes who have proven themselves again against all odds and suffered consequences from disparate realms, one after another, gaining insight, gaining, in some cases, an actual boon, an actual item. In other cases, just the attention of the Whispered One. And being one after another teleported to the unknown. But there was one remaining who had yet to be scooped up. So we're going to start with Fenris. Fenris, your meeting in the Hells has gone... let's take it from... I figured we'd take it from the moment Sarnia left.
I was actually hoping we would take it just before she left.
Sure. So you've been discussing how she's been wanting you to... do her a favor and check in on the way gates, as they have some extraplanar incursions into the Hells where you are, and this could be a complicating factor. So she's been asking you to inquire about any way gates. Your background being that of a cult of basically teleporting planeshoppers, and was there a name for the people? Your peoples? I forget.
I mean, my peoples are people of the shadow. They're actually descendants of Netheril.
Netheril.
Being in Beirut.
Ah, nice. Descendants of Netheril. And you were the ipso facto guardians of these special gateways that would connect, not necessarily always just a single plane, although sometimes it was linked permanently. But your peoples have found a way to link these up and to control them. Typically, this was done with the use of an anchor stone or some kind of anchoring connection piece that would then allow you to control these gates. Most notably, you have controlled several in our previous campaign, and, well, let's just say earned you some status in your current environs.
So, Fenris, is there anything else, or is that enough to go on?
Do have a question. So, let me get this straight. Out of all the minions at your disposal here, we check this out ahead of time. You want me to go, given my gifts, and you come personally to me. Don't send a messenger. Come yourself.
Well,
I wonder about that.
fine. Don't you then? Let's just say, while I may be the Archduke of Avernus now, there are still those let's call them bishops. Bishops at play. The game must be played, and a queen, though powerful, can still fall on the board. So, yes, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this. We're used to incursions from the abyss, and occasionally we've been known to dabble into the prime material plane for soldiers, as you know. This is different. I need you to check on... I am aware of at least 2 waygates. You know one of them already. Getting back to it might be difficult now that we've sunk it to the bottom of the Styx. But if you're careful, you might check on it for me make sure that any of these whispers of incursions and aren't coming from the plane of air.
I see. And here I thought you missed me a bit.
In that moment, she kind of runs her hand along a kind of a ruckled section of her neck, which you know you gave her in a battle. You and your companions, a scar that she has not gotten rid of, a memento.
Yes, well, let's just say you keep your keep your friends close, and your enemies closer.
Guess so.
The real question.
And she leans in very close.
Is which do I consider you?
She stands up. She's got this weird, like smell like a campfire. She's got, in all of this place, there's like sulfur and nasty stench and rotten meat. She's got a campfire smell to her. That's not entirely unpleasant. And she kind of stands up at attention, all 5'9", and spins so fast that her leathery wings, which often look like a cloak, but you know that they're wings, buffet against you, and she turns and walks towards the exit.
Let me know if you need anything, but speak only deceit of this. If there are planar incursions that we need to worry about, we don't want the wrong devils getting a hold of that before I know.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, and Fenris. Watch your ass. Friend or foe. I'm not the only one you've made over the years.
Just nod silently at her.
Do a perception check for me.
Okay. I am not perceptive. 7.
All right. I don't know if it's been a long time since you've seen her or whether this is bringing back, like she's definitely thrown you off balance talking about some of these things. So maybe you're a little bit off balance or flustered for a variety of potential reasons. But you're just left as she walks away with this this sense that it's been a long time since you feel like you've been watched, but you have a slight lingering sense of that again. You grew up paranoid, hunted by the paladins of... I forget now. The paladins of...
Paladins of Pelor.
Pelor, right. The paladins of Pelor had been hunting you, so it's not an unfamiliar feeling of trying to watch your back, but you've got that feeling of there is something going on here that is not being fully disclosed. Question: how do you protect yourself from the influx of the Styx? You sank a waygate and redirected the flow of the Styx into the waygate. Did you do that from a distance, or did you have means to protect yourself from it?
I would think that I would have some means to protect myself and at a distance, like using telekinesis.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably telekinesis as like a bubble around you.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, if that bubble fails, if your concentration falls and the sticks touches you, we're talking heavy-duty con checks to see if you transform and basically become an abyssal or a lemur type creature. It would not be pleasant to. And actually, at that moment, Zeet kind of calls out behind you.
It would not be pleasant for you to become an abyssal underling. So, the siege will help you.
Oh, how will you help me, Zeet?
I have been commanded to help. You are my lord. I will help you however I can.
Okay. Well, let's check this out. She mentioned incursions. She wants me to take a look at Waygates. She just revealed there's a second one, but I don't know where it is.
Let's give me this.
And he holds out a little stone, which you immediately recognize as a sending stone.
What's this? Sending stone?
She wanted you to have a way to contact her. So, she thought it best that it be in my hands and my voice, given the tendency for these to be communicated. Communications are often overheard by those in charge.
So, as you remember, several of the heavy hitter devils, Bela, Mephistopheles, and so on, can typically overhear telepathic, maybe not telepathic, but like sending messages, that sort of thing. So if they hear certain speakers, they tend to pay closer attention. But it is a way for you to communicate with Sarnia if you need to.
Sarnia or Verisas?
Well, technically, either. This was technically Sarnia who tasked you here.
Okay.
But speaking of Verisas, you do have several allies of a sort in the Hells and beyond, if you do feel the need to call upon them.
Not just yet. Not unless I really need it. I think that we should travel.
Of course. I will prepare your traveling gear. So Zeke rushes with Didi, and Zeke is dumb. Listening not to Zeke. He speaks in third person several times.
So he goes off to prepare your gear, which is a little bit worse for wear. You haven't been able to purchase anything particularly new since you came here. Did we ever establish how long it's been since El Terrell and all of that?
It's been a couple years, actually.
All right. So what's the first order of business? Are you going to just jump into the sticks? Let's go.
No, first order of business is actually to gain more intel on these incursions. And also discuss ways to access the Sunken Waygate, knowing that it's beyond my telekinetic reach in the River Styx, but there must be something a device, a contraption, a vehicle that could probably be used to help lift it.
I mean, there was there are infernal machines, and
Right.
you did have a line with one of the several warlords of Avernus who are fairly specialized in these. If you wanted to pay a visit to the old night hag, she might be able to help you for the right
I
price.
think I'll do that. I think I'll do that.
Sure. So you head off, and now, how do you? Well, we'll just hand wave. You get there. You've got an entourage of bearded devils and a few other devils if you want. So most things will want to leave you alone. Maybe an abyssal incursion, which do still happen. Effectively, in redirecting the sticks, you've protected. Consider it like a province of the Avernus has been spared these regular incursions from the abyss that boil up out of the Styx, because the Styx doesn't flow there anymore, not in any significant amount anyway. But it is such a massive flood of devil blood, if you want to think of it that way, god blood, that is flowing from this Styx, that it's impossible to redirect the whole thing, but a massive portion of it, you, with the help of Sarnia, chose a spot that would then redirect a whole region, would be free from these incursions, allowing them to focus their defenses and basically have a whole province that is weirdly at peace, or nearly at peace. Something the Hells have not known, quite likely ever.
Well, at least something good that I've done.
You also do have an ally there, and a bit of say in choosing that. And there was an old abandoned, it's almost a mimic of a church that you had seen when you first, a temple, as it were, when you first, before you ever went to the Hells, and you met your first devil, a succubus, which was Verices. And she lives in that spared plain, in that the spared valley. Let's call it the spared valley, because they are spared from the incursions. So you know that she lives on fairly close to the edge of that, and which is also near where the gate is.
Okay. I might pay her a visit then on the way to the Night Hag,
Sure.
depending on how it works logistically, either before or after, whatever.
Absolutely. You're on your way there, and it also works out just in time as Phil redeemed on Twitch. Hello there, Phil.
Hello there.
Why, hello. And in fact, this is where we're going to get a little spicy. Let's go. All right, so Fenris makes his way with a small guardian of devils. You tend to... Do you like your infernal machines there? Did I hear you say that, Fenris?
Yeah, he's gotten used to liking them.
All right.
Better than walking.
You have yourself one of these hot rods, basically. A little, I kind of picture something out of Mad Max. Like the new one, the Furiosa, where like the rumbling engine, the massive, and the screams and the engine roaring, and it's fueled by the soul coins, which are basically the souls of mortals who've traded away there for whatever reason. So anyway, this thing powers up. Zeke jumps, he's got these like navigator goggles that are too big for him, but he's got them all tied up, so he's looking sort of cross-eyed in this, or it's almost opposite cross-eyed. It's like out to the sides. And he's there, he fires it up, and it's deafening, and he just yells over the top.
All right, hold on your ass. Let's get going.
And then he fires it up, and you go tearing off with a retinue of devils clinging on the sides, and you're kind of in a fairly comfortable seat behind Zeke. And you make your way to the Spared Valley, and you come across this. It's fairly squat. It's only about 2 or 3 stories, kind of like a almost church-like, where there's like sort of a dome. It's actually been repaired since you last saw it. So the roof is not collapsed in from some abyssal incursion. You can see that it's very strange as you crest over from where your little palace is, and en route, the terrain has been just desolate, barren, pretty typical Avernus. Dust plains and the occasional ruin of a wreck of a war machine, or giant bones, or giant chain fallen through. And as this territory falls away, you crest over into the spared valley, and you see something that almost surprises you, even though you've heard, and you maybe have visited this place a little bit, but it's particularly noticeable. There are these large, almost mushroom-like plants, but the size of trees, growing up out of the plains that never used to thrive here. And a variety of colors, and purples and blues, and even some pinks. And it stands in sharp contrast, almost like the flowers of a cactus, but they're blooming. And the plain itself has green and purple overtones, almost like if you don't wipe the dust out of your eyes, you can almost imagine it being like lavender fields down below this. And there's very little screaming except for what's coming out of your engines. And the heat even it's still hot, but it's not that oppressive, sickening heat. And you come up over here and you can see the succubus's a monastery, as it were, where you once took shelter, and you tear up in your machine, and Z throws it into neutral, and keeps it running outside, and kind of waits for you to get off.
Well, boss, you want me to come back later? Like, later? Or do you want me to just keep the engine running?
It's business, so keep the engine running.
Roger. So he's going to keep the engine running for you, and you walk in, and the door just moves back as you get close, and it opens up, and inside are all these silks kind of ballooning from the ceiling, and pouring down and around. And you can see all kinds of comfortable, like, chaises and chaise longue, as it were, and there's incense burning to kind of block out some of the sulfur smells that still blow through the valley. It's very pleasant. And there's a voice that calls from the other room, and it, let's see if I can choose the right one here.
Oh, back for a visit, huh?
Yes, it's been a while.
And out walks just jaw-droppingly gorgeous succubus. Fairly typical, like, wearing an overcoat, but, like, you can, the leathery wings kind of behind, and just all kinds of, what every Dungeons and Dragons 12-year-old boy imagines that a succubus should look like. She got curves in all the right places and all the right curves. And so forth. Anyway, getting looks from the players.
Good to see you. But I'm here on a bit of business.
Oh, pity. Well, come on in, make yourself at home. What brings you to my little corner? And by the way, thank you for this. I don't know if you chose this place on purpose, but it's definitely worked out in my favor.
Indeed, I'm happy for you. least things have worked out for some of us.
Not for you. Not for you.
Well, half glass full, half glass empty kind of workout for me.
Yeah. I mean, what's really waiting for you back there? Weren't they hunting you?
Well, yes, they were. But behind them are the ones here that were hunting me.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about them sneaking up behind you when they're making deals with you.
I guess. I just don't like that they still have me.
Well, at least it's not all bad news.
She doesn't even mean to be flirting, but it just happens. And I mean, maybe she means it, but basically, like, you keep finding it's not just the magic of what she represents, but it is hard to resist that because it is just naturally it's like don't look at headlights on a highway. You're like, don't look, but all you really want to do is look. I suppose that is a euphemism, but anyway, we'll keep going. Sorry.
All right. Well, like I said, I've asked to look in some incursions by the Archduke. I don't know if you've heard anything, but she mentioned to check out the Waygates, and she revealed that she knows of 2, and of course we know of 1, but it's at the bottom of the Styx. So I have a bit of a dilemma. I need a way to lift it out, or a way for me to go down without obviously touching the waters.
Yes, it would be a shame for you to become a Ymir.
Indeed.
Well, I'd rather you didn't lift it, because, well, I have a nice crop of begonias growing finally. I do, as you know, make my way to the material plane sometimes, and, actually, if you ever want, I can look in on things for you.
You know that she is able to do plane shift semi-regularly. She spends time in both worlds.
That would be nice, but I also wouldn't want you to put yourself out there needlessly. I don't know how they would react to you, given their choices.
Well, I do find it good to keep a low profile, especially here.
I'd appreciate it. I obviously haven't had any contact with them.
Well, as you know, I do have a cadre of followers, as it were. My Camians have mentioned there have been people prying at the edges, trying to find out what they can about anything that's really just none of their business. So, as you know, I have my little festivals, and, generally speaking, I don't advertise too widely. So I definitely notice when people start trying to pry into my secrets. And there's been more of that. It's a little hard to figure out because, well, you know, typically cultists are, pretty identifiable. I mean, what is with all the hoods and like the robes and the little wiggly daggers? Like, just carry a normal dagger. No one is gonna know you're a cultist if you just carry a normal fucking dagger. But no, you have to have the Chris thing with the wiggly. Anyway,
It appeals to a type.
I suppose it serves a purpose. But, anyway, my Camians have come across a few different disparate, though. There was an elf, there was a half-orc, there was even a Schmerfrumedlin. I
cannot pronounce that right. Yeah, deep gnomes.
So yeah, I think somebody's been poking around looking at, well, anything they can get their hands on, really. And let's just say, sometimes that's fine, but, you know, only invited. Otherwise,
there's-
hands off.
Yeah. Do you think there's a connection? If there's prying here with undead in this realm and cultists back in Verun and elsewhere?
So as you guys have been talking, the proximity's just closing steadily until you kind of don't even notice just in the conversation. And go ahead and do a wisdom saving throw for me.
Oh.
It's not necessarily intentional, or certainly not malicious.
Not good. 6.
Oh, brother. So, at this point in the conversation, the two of you are practically pressed together. And she's like,
Well, as you probably know, I prefer more lively fare than these undead, almost useless beings. But I'll keep my eyes open, or closed, or whatever you like.
I can see Bela being like, okay.
I should have told Zeke to come back later.
Business first, right?
Yeah. But it's also been a while since I visited.
Outside, the engine rumbling. After quite a long while, it begins to cough and sputter, and the hellish rumbling scream of the engine sputters to silence. And you see Zeet and the associate devils kind of just kind of jolted awake by the sudden silence. And then Zeet pulls out a fresh soul coin and is like,
Jeez, these things are supposed to last a long time. Keep it running, he said. Come on. Alright.
and he fires in another soul coin and rumbles back up, and you're a little distracted to notice inside. Okay. So you walk out, and he fires up the engine for a third time, and you walk out of the monastery, the chapel type building, and as you're going out the door, she calls back and she says,
Oh, I almost forgot. One of my Cambians found this.
and she slips you kind of over her arms draped over your shoulder. She slips something into your hand, and you take a look at it after saying goodbye, and it is a glass orb containing a wet, living eyeball. You're a sorcerer.
Yeah.
I won't even... Well, go ahead and roll Arcana for me. Or Religion.
$19.
That's pretty good. The eye is highly magical. You can see the etchings on the glass. And as you hold it, you can actually make out the little inscription. And you speak many different languages, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I do speak a number of them. Abyssal, Common, Draconic, Elvish, and Infernal.
Okay, so this is actually in a version of Abyssal. It's not exactly Abyssal, but it's close enough. If anything, it's got... The Abyssal plane is not the only plane of chaotic evil. This is a language that is more... It's still extremely chaotic, but it's not necessarily directly Abyssal. But with that 19, you know enough of the root. It's like a shared... It's kind of like Latin. If you know Latin, you can puzzle out certain of the romantic languages. And so you can puzzle out pieces of this enough to put a basic phrase together. And the phrase is... I almost want to type it to you. Let's type it to you. There you go. It is now in chat. And she's just saying bidding goodbye just at the gateway to her monastery. And Zeet has fired up the engine. He's like,
"Come on, ass. I'm almost running out of soul coins. Come on."
Yeah, okay, let's go. And I kind of pocket the
now,
eye.
do you know what it says? Do you want to say it or no?
I know that saying things out loud can cause unfortunate things to happen.
Fair enough.
So I'd rather understand more what I'm dealing with than just start reciting a potential incantation.
Sure. So you pocket this and you walk out, and as you cross the threshold of the gateway, nothing happens. And you go out and you get on your infernal machine and you go tearing across the plains, and you pull up approximately where you're pretty sure where you need to. You point out to Zeet, and you see the roiling river, which at this point it's a bit bizarre because you are at essentially just about the apex of a waterfall. So at this point, it's like standing at the top of Niagara Falls, where you can see the flow just speeding up as it approaches, and it begins to go downwards. But this is unusual because geography-wise, there is no major change at this point. It's as though it's flowing over a waterfall, and then what goes beyond it's still a bit of the Styx, but it is significantly reduced in thank you, Steve, in the output of the river beyond that.
I try to see if I know that I have an ability to sense when I'm close, waygates. Trying to understand if I can, for example, use locate object or whatnot to see
Now,
how
if you want to
far.
cast the spell, it will absolutely find it. If you
I will
want to
then.
just roll Arcana and do your best, you could do that too.
Spell it is. I will cast locate object.
All right. So you cast that and immediately get a ping that it is about 30 feet, well, 20 feet before the apex where the kind of water begins to, before the Styx begins to flow downwards over this false waterfall. And it's almost exactly 20 feet before that and about 35 feet straight down at the bottom. So it is busy vortexing up a significant portion of this, and the flow is almost curling over, and that's what continues on. But the majority of the lower section is flowing directly into the waygate that essentially pried open when you were last here.
I want to see if there's anything that's different. Like, I don't want to necessarily close it because that will cause many to be upset. But I want to see if anything has come out, if any incursion, like a sense if any incursion has happened.
Go ahead and do, unless you can think of another spell to do, I would say that sounds like a perception check to me.
Okay.
Perhaps survival if you're looking for tracks.
They're both the same to me, so I'll try perception.
All right, let me know what you get. Oh, and I should
17.
probably open D&D Beyond. Sorry, how much?
17?
17. That's not bad. For 17, you don't, like, you've seen abyssal incursions before. They're not subtle. They tear up the landscape as they claw their way out of the river. There's typically devils that spot them in the patrols pretty quickly. You even can see a patrol not too far away from here, up in the sky. And there's no sign of battles. There's no sign of claw marks or any other kind of those go-to definite obvious incursions. With a 17, it's almost the lack of that carries more information than the actual findings.
I walk back to see if this is not the place. If there was an incursion, there'd be cracks, something undead. It's too peaceful here.
All right. I guess we head for where? Back home? I can get
We
you
head to the
another
Night Hag.
All
See
right.
about the second way gate.
Yes. Her. Hallway. Let's go.
So he fires up the engine and begins to take you over to the Nightmare Hag. I don't remember her name off the top of my head, so we're gonna just call her G.
At Maggie?
Maggie. There's the memory. Look at that. So you make your way over to where Maggie. Now this is a significantly
You
longer
want to be
trip.
more specific? Mad Maggie.
Mad
Maggie
Maggie.
is it,
I'm
yeah.
glad that left an impression. That was not my doing. That was part of the module. I'd like to claim that one, but that was not me. So yeah, you make your way to Mad Maggie's, and on the outskirts, you realize that if you just roll up on her, there's a very good chance that her redcaps and other various terrifying allies will treat you as hostile and tear you to ribbons. So how would you like to approach this?
Diplomatically.
All right. So you stop at a distance and kind of rev the engine and wait to be noticed?
Yeah. She should pick up on who I am shortly in her realm. So
Why?
I'll wait.
What?
What the? That's weird. That one turned on randomly. Sorry. You're just having a daydream. So after about 30 minutes, you see 3 infernal machines come tearing out of this mountain this kind of landscape that is shaped a bit like a hand, and kind of out from between 2 of the fingers of the land come tearing these infernal machines. And you wait until they get a little bit closer, and you can actually see you actually recognize one of the drivers, one of her lieutenants, coming at. Now, if you remember correctly, you did not necessarily leave on great terms with her. If I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you guys fled this place. Or am I wrong?
No, we didn't flee. We left amicably. We had a dream, went through a dream scenario.
That's right. That's where Ultrabald left your group.
That's right. So
And
we
left
didn't
you
flee.
in control of one of the blades, the sun blade.
Yeah.
All right. So you will wait until you approach, and let's just say that the name of it's an elf who'd been running at one point. You guys rescued him at some point, and let's just call him Lau, short for Lathander. And he has gotten basically he's embraced his leather side. Basically, so you saw him last, he was kind of a typical elf, but now he's like wearing a leather vest and like chaps and like collar. Like he's gone kind of vaguely cowboy goth, which is not a great look, but he's trying, bless his soul. And he's definitely a little bit more gaunt than he used to be, but he pulls up and seems to recognize you when you get a little bit closer.
I'd give him a nod. Been a while.
Yep. You just had to come crawling back. What can Lal do for you?
You know, an introduction would be nice. I've got some business to discuss.
All right. Well, I mean, it's gonna be up to the boss lady.
Of course. But what I have to discuss is
go.
probably in her best interest too. She must know that there are undead incursions. I would speak with her on this.
Maybe there is, maybe there's not. What's in it for me?
Consider it paying a favor from an old friend, an old acquaintance at least.
All right, well, you did help me out a little bit, but we're even.
Fine with me.
So he takes you over, takes down in between two of the fingers, and you kind of go back to that old camp with the he lets out this massive whistle, and the metal gates and like a rolling infernal machine that's basically like a bus blocking the entrance pulls back, and you go tearing into the courtyard, and you see the red caps manning the wall with all kinds of ballistae and weird crossbows, and a couple of them waving wands around. And you see a couple lurching massive devils that are in her employ. And inside, after a little while, you see this. It's actually a fairly small tent. It looks kind of like a standard carnival tent. It looks out of place because it's so ordinary. You see kind of like a fortune teller's tent, but you know that what's on the inside is much bigger than what is appearing on the outside. And after a little while, Lau leads you towards that after a few words with some of the red caps that look at you and like lick their lips and like run a dagger along their fingernails and like just stare at you as you walk by hungrily. But no one seems to be outright hostile to you. You go in, and Lau holds back the curtain, and you step in to what is easily a 40-foot room on the inside, with an archway at the back of that room. And even without a check, you know that that is a waygate. That the archway at the back, it was when you were here last, it was sort of hidden by and it's still semi-obscured with folds of cloth and drapery and so on, but it is unmistakably to you a waygate. to the place between places, her dream world. And sitting at a table, shuffling a deck of cards, tarot cards, she looks almost human, but larger, and her hunched back just kind of, and her kind of cloak and attire, which is a blend of ragged but also carny and kind of fortune teller, ornate clothing and beadwork and that kind of thing. And she kind of motions towards to the thin air, and a stool just kind of goes into existence opposite her. So you're back.
Yes. Hello, Mad Maggie.
Yes. Well, what have you brought for me today, Fenris?
News.
Information for free, no doubt.
Well, yes, but also perhaps services to barter in exchange?
I suspected that you have been much more quick to make bargains and deals than we last met.
Somewhat more willing. Just depends on the price.
And that is always the tricky spot, isn't it? What prices are we willing to pay? Well, my services don't necessarily come cheap, but I have been known to need a thing or two in my time.
So, maybe before we get to that, information for free, which you may already know. There are incursions happening here in Avernus. Undead, outsiders, not from this realm.
And she flips over a card, puts it on the table, and it is the death card. Well, any two-bit carny could come in saying that, my boy. But even a broken clock is right twice a day. I've heard much the same. Picked up one of these, and she picks up, it's like a bird cage, and she kind of just reaches behind her, and it's immediately there, and she puts it on the table next to the death card, and in it is a hand, a severed hand. After a few seconds, the hand kind of twitches and begins to try to pluck at the edges of the cage, and then kind of rests still again.
What is that?
Well, it's not uncommon for my followers to be a bit overzealous and take a trophy. I keep this one because the original owner gave it most willingly, even before dear Lau could run his mouth. This one opened his gray cloak and lopped off his own arm, even enough for a Mad Maggie to take notice.
I actually pull out the glass orb with an eye. Speaking of appendages, I recently come across this as well. I kind of hold it in my hand.
let's see. Don't pardon the pun. May I? And she extends a hand that goes farther across the table than it really has any right to. Her arm seeming to have almost an extra elbow joint in it, and her fingers as long as your forearm each. And so her hand extends outward, tipped with a immaculately cleaned and manicured claw. And she,
I mage hand the hand the rest of the way. I mage hand the eye the rest of the way to her hand. Yeah.
She takes it and she looks at it. She sniffs it. She sticks out this long gray tongue, and the stench that comes off of, like, it puts halitosis to shame. And she just kind of just licks it a little bit, and spicy. This was also given willingly. I would agree with the sentiment, wouldn't you? And she passes it back to you.
I mage hand it back. Yeah. I would agree with what it says.
So who has secrets? Surely you, not old Maggie. I'm an open book.
Maybe an open book, but with a lot of depth.
Well, I prefer to call it credit. My credit score needed to be juiced a little bit. Speaking of which, have you seen Bela lately?
Not recently. I'm sure he's around.
If you see him, just remind him. The juice is running.
Okay. Well, I see that one waygate I checked isn't the source of this incursion, and I doubt that, and I point to the waygate behind her. I doubt that other one is either. So,
no, I've got that one well in hand.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, little birdie tells me you haven't taken any trips in a while. If you want it out, just know this. A certain Archduke has an agreement with me. I'm afraid this one won't work for you, my dear.
Color me not surprised.
There is another, but even Maggie thinks sometimes there's prices that might be a little too steep. Unless you can swim really well.
Are you talking about the one, and I kind of mentioned, in the river Styx way back when? Or are you talking about perhaps a third?
I'm only, at this time, aware of two. But thank you for that. And dearie, don't give away your secrets for free. If you know about the one in the Styx, then I imagine you probably know how it got there.
Well, I'm just saying I got a sense for them, as you may know.
Indeed. Well. If you want a closer look, I have have an idea, but you might not like it.
Just say I'm interested in hearing your idea.
Well, I had an employee who was very good at his job. You might remember him. Went by the name of Blasgo, but he had ambitions. Built half of those wrecks in the yard. But he wanted to help me. And let's just say, I control this. Very few creatures get to choose where they go in the hells, and there is a certain amount of cachet in that. Now just imagine, my boy, how much better it would be. 2 gates are better than 1.
So what? He tried to get this other waygate for you?
He was taking a look at it. Well, it was a good idea, but flawed in the execution. Essentially, well, come, I'll show you. And she takes you out the front door, and you kind of linger looking at the waygate, wondering, like, could you wrest control of that thing from her? You might. It might be possible, but it would definitely be a struggle. Anyway, so she beckons you out. Come along, my boy. And she takes you outside into the courtyard and around back, and there's the remains of an infernal machine. And the tracks are half broken, and it looks like it'd be slow as hell, but it's got this really long, it's kind of like a crane, like one of the portable cranes where the arm can extend pretty far. And on the end of it is this chain that kind of looks like a morning star. And at the bottom of the chain is a ball of rusted infernal iron. And it looks like this thing's been sitting a while, but it had... You can kind of see at one end there was a hatch. It was a diving bell of sorts.
Yeah.
Poor Blazaro. Let's just say his ideas were great, but his welding skills a little bit not quite up to snuff. And when we pulled him up, and she points over to the side and tosses like a chunk of raw meat to this pen where there's about 4 different lemurs waiting there, and one of them in particular she tosses a chunk of meat to and says, "Good boy, it was a nice try."
Yeah. Well, I think I could execute this a bit better.
Well then, by all means. But I haven't given you permission yet to use my equipment or staff. That, my boy, would require a bit of quid pro quo.
Right. So, I'm looking to use your help to investigate this gate and stop these incursions. That would mean that you wouldn't have undead shambling all over your territory. You're helping me help you.
Go ahead and roll persuasion.
I'm going to use heroic inspiration to re-roll that. And I got an 18.
Nice. Okay. That beats the tar out of her 6.
Well. Ah,
Fantastic, my boy. It's great to be working with you again. It's like old times. Speaking of old times, have you by any chance, this is the other part of my deal, have you by any chance seen your old pal Archibald anywhere?
last time I saw him was here. Dream.
Yes. Well, if you see him or you come across my little sister, you be sure to let me know.
All right.
Good. It's a deal then.
Yeah. It's a deal.
Well, then you know how this works. And she pulls out a strip of cloth, like a scroll, and she's like, sign here and here and here. Could do an investigation check. I will give you advantage because you do speak Infernal. Just to make sure she hasn't slipped in anything untoward. Or rather, how much she slipped in.
16.
You catch 2 clauses in there that are almost it's almost insulting how obvious those are as like pitfalls. But she kind of chuckles when you point them out and immediately strikes them from the record, and they just burn off of the scroll. And she's like, well, you can't blame a girl for trying.
Yeah. But this is a simple deal. So let's just make it simple. And I just kind of look at what she has written.
You would not respect me if I didn't at least try.
I know.
Come on. And she puts her arm around you, which is extremely unsettling. It's easily, her arm is probably as long as you are tall, but it's just extended with all these joints around you, and incredibly willowy and strong. And yeah, anyway, so she pulls you along and immediately gets sparking, and her new builders start welding on. She's like, you likely will inspect it carefully as they put this together. So I'm gonna get you to do what would a building roll be? Let's go with do you have tinker's tools or carpentry, or
Nope.
What about, I guess it could just be a straight up investigation check. Unless you want to try to augment this with magic as well.
Yeah, actually, that is what I was thinking of doing.
Sure.
So rather than trying to out tinker that tinker, I am going to use I'm going to use telekinesis.
All right. So you help bend things into the right shape. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
Yeah.
And we'll see how well it goes. And because you know that where this failed and his replacement is pointing that out, and Maggie's helping, so you have the help action, so you have advantage.
Okay. 16.
All right. So after many hours, and Zeet and them are just waiting in the courtyard, like eyeballing the red caps. And after many hours, it's one of those welding montages. It's like the A-Team when they're building the thing that goes on the van. After a long, long time, the pieces start coming together, and you have your infernal machine. They get it up and running, cut ahead, maybe even a few days. You've moved it over next to the sticks, next to where the waygate is, and it is ready for you to enter and try your luck to descend.
Okay.
There is a kind of a plated window section that you can sort of steer with your telekinesis to try to face against the current. Maggie even came up with an idea of some magical torchlight at the front to cast light in front.
Oh, I mean, sure. I will attempt to use it. But as I'm using it, I'm also going to augment with telekinesis. And so what I want to do is, beyond just the metal kind of encasing, I want materials inside that I can almost like whether it's kind of like either flexible metal or kind of sheet metal, just using telekinesis to kind of almost push out from within, just to kind of keep it firm.
Fair.
So it's another layer as I'm kind of having myself put into the river Styx. It's an extra layer of, like, in case the pressure of the
if it starts to
waters,
buckle, you can kind of use this to reinforce it. Cool.
Bingo. Yeah.
All right. So for this planning, I'm going to give you a D6 as kind of and it is a new day, so you don't have to worry about spell slots. You'd be going at this fresh. And Maggie even has a couple of her patrols out to make sure no random incursions from the Styx, because it is flowing pretty thick here. It does get demons coming up from the abyss occasionally. And even Sarnia's even sent some backup in the form of a couple of extra devil patrols.
Okay. I'm going to try it.
So you climb up, you open up this hatch, and you climb in and you close it down, and you can hear them tightening the bolts. There's no, like, doorway to easily unlock. It's actually like they're bolting you into this thing. And after what feels like an eternity, and you're pretty sure your air will last long enough for one person for a while, but then they start ratcheting you down, and that sound of the chains unratcheting as it's lowering down brings back, like, lots of memories of you guys trying to shatter the chains that were ratcheting El Turel down. And you descend, and it's that weird, as the water level rises up the window, you have this almost instinctual feeling to hold your breath, and you kind of okay, and you descend into the dark waters. This is almost like descending into pitch or thick oil. It is very difficult to see below, and you go down, and you do have your sending stone to talk to Zed if you want.
Yeah. I'll use also just the fact that as my powers developed, I have blind sense at
nice.
10 feet. And if I'll use the sending stone just to kind of navigate as I sense 10 feet out beyond in the pitch. And perhaps with my ability to sense the waygate, getting directions to move either forward or down. Or left.
Do you want to cast Locate Object again, or are you going to just do it by Arcana?
Locate object again. No chances.
You cast it. It's up, and you can tell exactly. You're now 15 feet away, just above 15 feet, and 8 feet to the left.
I use the sending. to connect with Seat to move me in that direction.
Alright, boss. 15 down, 80 left. Wait, is it your left or my left?
Mine.
Right.
Wait.
No, left.
All right, so after a while, they've got you positioned directly in front of this waygate. And you actually go ahead and do a perception check for me.
Okay. 15.
All right. You're getting glimpses because it's so dark in here and it's in the tumult of this. The chain is actually, you're almost diagonal at this point because the chain is being pulled by the force of the rushing water towards. You're basically in a draining bathtub and you're dangling right over top of the hole. And it is just pulling. And every once in a while the way will clear in front of you, especially as you get a little bit closer. And you can see like little flashes of brilliant white light on the other side. The waygate is open. You remember where it was open to.
Yes.
Which, to my knowledge, there's only you and Sarnia and Asmodeus know where this goes.
Yeah. I try to see.
Do you need to get closer?
Let me see first. I try to sense if there's anything, an incursion, anything off.
Sure, go ahead and do either perception or maybe survival, or possibly arcana, to just sense if anything's been messed with.
I'll do Arcana. 15.
15's not bad. It doesn't seem like anything has changed. It feels the way you left it. If you could see the dials, and you've got blind sight, so you're close enough, you can see the positions of them or sense that. And you can tell that they are still attuned to where you'd left them.
Right. So, I guess in my mind, this doesn't seem, out of the two waygates, this is now confirmed that this is not a source of the incursion.
It doesn't seem like it from here. But you've only ever been through this once. What has happened on the other side, it's hard to tell right now.
I will tell Zeke to take me a little bit closer. I want to get right up to it.
Sure. On Zeke's behalf, can you roll a d20, please?
Okay. A natural 9.
So 2 things happen. Number 1, he goes,
Alright, man, you heard the boss. Lower him down a bit.
so he lowers you down a little bit, and the pressure as you get closer and closer increases pretty exponentially, and you can hear the metal strain just, and the buffeting sound of the sticks just rushing by, and every once in a while you hear and you sense something with your blind sense of something getting close and then thumping off the bell. Probably an abyssal creature that is in the process of spawning, but getting sucked through the portal in front of you. all of this kind of happens one after another. And you get very close, and you now see these little gaps of light in front of you, and you use your telekinesis to kind of steady yourself. And you can see as the waygate, you're right on the threshold of it, an open doorway to another world. And your diving bell is small enough that it's kind of in the middle, but you're having to use a lot of your telekinesis to keep it there, or to be bashed. And I'm gonna get you to do one more Arcana check for controlling that telekinesis.
Natural 20, 25.
Oh, you are lucky, sir. All right, so you can feel it suddenly get binged by another one of these abyssal creatures as it goes plummeting off and down, and you're right in the opening, like dangling. Part of your pod is out into this other world, and the abyssal creature just smacks into the side of it, and you steady it immediately, and you don't go pinioning off, but you get a perfect good view after that, as this thing also kind of blocks some of the flow, and the waygate opens into thin air and just draw a tiny little island of stone floating high on the highest sky you can imagine. And this waterfall of the sticks just falls from here below you, gravity pulling it down, 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 without end. Out, and the mists of this waterfall, of this black, twisted, cursed water, just kind of falling away, but beginning to poison this plane. Anything it touches, these floating rock islands, as one, you can actually see one as it kind of drifts by like a cloud below, and this pouring Styx water hits it, and you can see where it's corrupting it. You can see these writhing creatures wriggling out, like almost like tadpole spawn, writhing out upon the rocks, some of them dashed from the fall and just horrible blood and ichor, but some of them surviving and beginning to inhabit these floating islands. You can see far off in the distance other islands, some of them lucky enough to have been spared so far, but this flow, there are now 10 hells, and this is one of them. In this moment, a few things happen. Number one, you hear ping as one of the plates behind you gives way. You also feel something in your pocket, basically glowing with arcanic heat. What do you want to pay attention to in this moment?
I will use telekinesis to block, and I will pull out, sensing probably the eye. I pull it out.
So the sheet metal covers the hole, and there's a little puddle below, but it's big enough you can kind of stay out of it. And you manage to plug that gap, and you pull out the eyeball. It's spinning inside of it, looking. And in that moment, it locks eyes with you, and you hear a voice in your head. Fenris. My, what secrets we keep. I have my eye on you. Then you hear another ping, ping.
Say it in Infernal. secrets of power.
In that instant, a few things happen. Number one, you're throwing the sheet metal against the wall as quick as you can, and it's starting to rise. You actually have to stand up on the little seat that you've created in there to avoid the rising puddle that is beginning to make its way up. Zeet begins yelling over the standing stones.
Sorry, boss. We'll get you out of there. Hold on, I'll just sit beside her.
And another ping as another leak starts dribbling down. Some of it just almost touches your skin. It hits your cloak, and you kind of shake it off. And then you say those words, and nothing happens yet. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you're like, I'm almost through this waygate. There's two ways out of this scenario: through or back up. The question is, which one do you want to do? The water's rising.
True.
Okay. You use your telekinesis instead of holding it closed. Do an Arcana check for me.
Hmm. 9.
The glass window
No.
in front of you cracks, but you don't have the juice to crack it all the way open yet. You're just like, you're split focused between all of these things. The water's rising.
I'll try one more time, but if my backup is to use banishment on myself.
All right.
But I'll try one more time. I'll try one more time first.
Sure. Do a dexterity saving throw for me before you do anything else.
Oh, I'll use my heroic inspiration.
That could be real interesting if you fail.
20.
Okay, you succeed. So some of the leak goes splashing down, and you're like, yeah, and you just shed that cloak. That thing is dead to you now. It doesn't get on you, but that was close. That was real close. All right, do your Arcana check.
Another 9.
All right. In that moment, Zeet's like,
Sorry, boss. It's really couldn't amplify it. Can you wait a minute?
No, I'm going through. I won't make it if you try to pull me back.
But boss, you're the best boss I've ever had. You barely beat me at all.
Yeah, it's not my style. Don't worry. I'll see you again.
So, see you again.
and instead of using the telekinesis to hold everything together, instead you pull on one of the weak spots, so it's a much lower DC. And the ball just comes apart, and you go falling. I will need another dexterity saving throw.
So okay. Can I actually use the action, but then quick cast banishment, so that I'm just on myself, so I'm not there to get splashed with anything?
Okay, sure. Yeah, spend the sorcery points.
Yeah. So I'll spend 2 sorcery points, and I will banish myself.
All right. So you break it, it starts to fall, and you start going, and there's this moment of like everything's you're in free fall, and the ball is spinning around you. Even some of that ichor is floating around you, and you just bamf yourself out of there, and you're just elsewhere. And you're like, okay, you've got a minute to figure this out. And you're pretty smart, right?
Yeah.
So the issue is, when you return from banishment, you will be in the exact same physical location where you were when you left. Which means the Styx will still be flowing there. You could also choose to sustain it, at which point you would be banished to a plane of your origin, probably.
And that's what I'm doing. Because right now I'm flying through the air in a metal ball with Styx water and probably falling in and dying. But my get out of jail card was to just hold the banishment and appear probably back in Faerun.
This is probably not
back in
required,
Avernus.
but I'm going to get you to do a concentration check.
Okay.
Nice easy DC. Don't worry about it.
Is it, I'm just trying to think. Is it, I can't see, is it a concentration section on the character sheet?
Just, it's
Is it a
your,
con-
it's your con save.
Well, that would be a 25.
Ooh, no problem. All right, it's getting right to that last few seconds as you're basically sitting there and waiting. And then the time is about to end, and you're just kind of bracing yourself. Okay, Faerun, here we go. And then in your mind, you're like, 101, 102, you shouldn't be here any. And then you're somewhere else. But you're not sure where you are. That's the first time I've ever thought of anybody banishing themselves into an adventure, but let's go. All right. So you have now joined the rest of them, and that's fun. All right, cool. So you are now in it as well. Thank you. Okay, everybody, we're just going to take a quick 10 minute? What do you think? What are you feeling? 10? 5-minute break, and then when we come back, we will be someplace else. All right, thanks everybody. Hey internet, don't forget, if this is your first time here, click the like, the follow, the subscribe, all the buttons down below or up above, or however, whatever your orientation is, and join us for more stories. We'll be right back. Okay. You have all gotten the attention of someone on somewhere else. You've all got your own reasons and your own histories. And now you all find yourself someplace else. You kind of come to in an opulently decorated building. You're inside. The light is magical, and there are burning sconces around. A large winding staircase, absolutely fluid. Two massive kind of settees. And this is a sort of study as your eyes kind of adjust to this whirling vortex. A flash of multicolored light, the world where you were winks out of existence. Nothingness has enveloped your senses, though you feel the thrum of magic rushing like an electric spark through your veins. When you regain your focus, you stand in a plush, candlelit parlor. A stately woman in blue robes leans towards you. During that vortex, you hear voices. I don't know what I don't know what's wrong.
What? Stop. Wait, no. It's not working as intended.
Hold on. We didn't have to focus more. Can you please frickin' follow? Pay attention.
I can't.
I can't hold. It's not. It's failing. And then you're here. A woman in stately blue robes leans towards you, her brow furrowed in confusion and concern. In the blurry background stand a frowning woman in a flowing black dress and a man tugging in confusion at his high crimson collar. What do you want to do? You look around and you see, well, let's just go around the horn and have you describe what the others see as they see all the four of you. Let's start with, we started today with Fenris, so we're going to start with Isolde. As Fenris looks over at Isolde, what does Fenris see?
Okay. So you see a half elf in very dark clothing, and she's relatively tall for a half elf, of course, and just pulling up all my details here. Very bright blue eyes and short, spiky black hair. You notice a lot of scars on her arms and her hands that are, some are healed over, some are relatively fresh, and she has a crossbow and a very intensely cautious stare as she looks at you.
All right. And Fenris, what does she see in return?
She sees a young human male in his early 20s, pale skin, dark hair, kind of a bit of a dashing look, but what really sticks out are a pair of golden eyes, bright, almost lupine looking, but they have a very haunted look, as if he's gone through a lot.
And then some. All right. When the two of them turn and then take in a few of the other companions, Gwendolyn, what do they see when they look at you?
Well, they would see an elf of average height, slim build with long red hair tied back. Kind of outdoorsy clothing, good for disappearing into the woods. A bow on her back, a staff in her hand. Mhm.
All right. And Steve, or His Excellency, what do they notice when they look at you?
Well, when they see him approach from a long distance off, He's walking towards them, and you're looking at him, and you're seeing. Is there heat rising from the ground? Is it windy? It's just hard to really make out what's coming towards you. Just can't really focus on it. Seems like, I don't know what, you kind of rub your eyes a little bit, like, why can't I see that? He gets closer and closer, and all of a sudden he comes into focus, and he's like 10 feet from you. And so you see a tall, how tall is he exactly? Let's figure this out. He's around 8 feet tall, 647 pounds, aged, skin wrinkly, hair very, very long, shaggy coat, mostly browns, bit of gray, bit of white and blonde mixed in there. He's a minimalist, not carrying very many things.
Well,
satchel over his
one
shoulder.
thing that is different is keep in mind that he is currently wearing a vacuum spacesuit.
I forgot about that. So when you see him as he's walking towards you, struggling to pull off this weird, odd clothing with like a metallic ring.
You guys
around
would probably interpret it as armor. Blinking
throwing-
lights.
He seems to be pulling it off and discarding it as he comes toward you. You hear him muttering under his breath, "Useless, overheated, ill-fitting, shoulder to crotch length. Someone needs to adjust. Should be adjustable, you would think. In the modern age, why?" He approaches you and says, "Greetings. Could you tell me, is there a town nearby where one might make a phone call?" He holds this rectangular device in some sort of rectangular thing in his hand and is tapping on it, going, "Call Bliss. Just call Bliss."
No signal.
Puts it in his satchel that now you see after he's stripped off the last of his armor, in giant air quotes, and as I previously described, the hair, the face, the color, all of that. Greetings.
All right. Well, welcome. Strangers, this is my home.
So the woman in the blue dress who'd been looking at you, the stately woman, kind of looking middle-aged human, is kind of off to one side. She's obviously a caster of some kind, flowing robes, the whole deal, a staff. And anybody who's Arcana trained can do a history check if they want to.
Okay. A 7.
7. You don't know who the fuck she is.
Yes.
All right. And then another woman near her wearing kind of a much more eclectic outfit, kind of dark.
I got a 9.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you also don't know who these people are, at least not the first woman anyway.
Well,
she's...
do I get a advantage on that just because my advantage is for she's probably not. Whoops.
She's probably not. Whoops.
I wanted to just see.
No.
There's for recalling information about Fey Fiends or undead. I'm assuming she's.
She is none of those things. I would also say, is anyone trained in religion?
I don't know.
You know what, Fenris?
Character sheet, if someone is trained in something, Todd.
It'll be a little blip on your screen, on your sheet. If you open up your character sheet, let's go to Gwendolyn here. I don't remember if she's Fenris. I'm going to get you to roll with advantage, actually. And I'm not going to explain why. Because I don't have to explain shit. I'm the DM.
Okay. So I'm rolling what? History again?
Yeah.
So it would be in here.
4.
It's under skills. Oh, that's even worse. All right. Unfortunately, none of you pick up on who these people are. And actually, the man who's standing there, there's 2 women and a man. And the man is standing there is like, you don't know who I am? Really?
Various others.
None of you know who I am. Well, that's just great. We get interlopers, and none of them know why they're here. Well, wait. Do you know why you're here?
Wait, what was the threshold?
It was you'd get something for a 15. Or maybe no, you get something. You get a little something for a 10, a little more for a 15. You'd get a lot for a 20.
Okay, I got a 14. So
14. Okay, so you get something. I'm gonna let you choose 1, 2, or 3.
Ooh, Gwendolyn, damn.
Ooh, Gwendolyn, that was a lucky roll. 16. Nice. So you both get to choose a number, or I can roll randomly. 1, 2, or 3.
1, 2, or 3. I'll choose a 3.
2.
Okay. So, His Excellency, the fairies that you have at one point been enemies with, and when later being allies with, they would speak about other travelers who came by trying to place. There was a point where you were imprisoned by them briefly, and you overheard them talking about other planeswalkers and beings that can cross planes, similar to the way that you ended up doing, because they were trying to puzzle out where you'd come from. And there was a name mentioned and a description. And when I describe this, it's vague, but they basically said a witch in blue with lots of attitude.
A witch in blue with lots of attitude.
And it was a T name. It was some kind of T name. That's all you get, though.
She's wearing blue. What was her name?
What is her name?
T.
All right,
Her name is
number 2. Gwendolyn. The man looks weirdly... Okay, Lord Neverremember, who is the Lord of Neverwinter, he's hired you for a handful of jobs, and you've seen some of the people he keeps counsel with. Your mission the last time was to rescue some nobles, so you've had to work in some of these circles before. He's not one of the nobles, but he is someone that has been talking with... based on his description, you kind of recognize him. He's... Let me pull up a description here. He's got a bald head, kind of like the slim goatee and the mustache, kind of nondescript middle age. He's got a blue cloak over his shoulders, some ornate gauntlets, and not gauntlets, forearm guards, and a little bit of, not armor, but he's obviously some kind of caster probably, but very opulently done, just bristling with various decorations and various, what's the word I'm looking for? Jewelry, probably magical. Because you were rolling Arcana, you can see he's got a lot of magic on him. There's something about the twinkle in his eye that you can tell he's a caster of some kind. Likely all 3 of them are, but this man you've seen once before. And you do remember his name was Mordenkainen. He was some kind of uppity-up wizard type. And Gordon's eyebrows just went way up.
There's something that else to do.
For our listeners at home. All right. The three of them are standing there, and you're literally in this other wizard's. She's wearing a beautiful kind of flowing blue gown, also a caster of kinds. I will try to find a picture of her so I can describe her better. But oh, there she is. So she's got long flowing dress and a large staff and just ringlets worth of hair flowing and tied back in the classical fantasy way. And she kind of extends her hands out to you.
Well, I guess you...
Sorry. I guess you are welcome. Not very many people come to my home, especially unexpected. I think you might... What do you think?
I don't know. What the hell am I supposed to do with this? We were wishing for this.
And they keep talking back and forth, but the witch in blue and then the sorceress in front of you.
Did you teleport us here?
Well, not intentionally, the man says.
Yeah, sometimes magic gets a little bit, yeah. You'd think we'd have that by now. For God's sakes, I got spells named after me.
Yes, we all know, Tasha. All right, well, I mean, magic can be a little bit unpredictable, especially,
We were casting a wish spell, and it went wrong, and now you three are here. Maybe...
Perhaps...
What were you wishing for?
Well, let's not jump. You know what they say, if you tell people what you wish for, it won't come true.
Well, it obviously didn't come true already.
Well, we're obviously here, so...
It might have been... It could have been a granted wish, but in a different way. If it's not possible, maybe it found another way?
Yeah, maybe. That could...
Well, I don't know. I think we're fucked.
Do I know the wish spell?
Do an Arcana check.
Okay.
And by the way, are the voices distinct enough you can tell the three apart, the two women?
21. Yeah, 21.
Okay, cool. 21. That ain't bad. The wish spell is a 9th level spell that can be temperamental at best. You have to be extremely careful in what you wish for. That's what the saying comes from. And if there is something, it's not without limits, but it is one of the most powerful arcana spells you can do. And especially if all three of them were involved in this, there's a lot of mojo. And you turn around and you see, as you're taking in this room, you see an old, beautifully maintained waygate behind you that you didn't realize it at the time, but you stepped through that. It's not the gate you came through intentionally, but this wish spell has pulled you here. All right, just give me a moment. And the man walks off to kind of flip through into a separate room. You can take in the room around you. You can talk to each other. They seem to be kind of bantering back and forth a little bit.
I mean, I'll introduce. I'll just say, hey, you said you're Tasha, and you obviously all casted a very powerful spell. What? Who do I have the pleasure of meeting? Maybe as an introduction. And I'm just kind of cautiously recognizing that they probably are all very powerful mages. Wanting to understand like who I'm dealing with.
Okay, they kind of come out of their argument about things that are hard to understand at the best of times, and kind of look at you guys again, like, oh right, you're still here, and they're like, oh, well, we're mages.
Some would say archmages or great mages or the best mages.
Yes, Tasha. All right. So I am Illustrial Silverhand. This is my realm. You are in my home here on Sigil.
And I'm Tasha. Yes, that Tasha. Have you may have heard of my laughter spell? Or my bubbling cauldron? I've got all kinds of great tricks.
And I am Mordenkainen, renowned, powerful spellcaster from Orth. We are from different... Sorry, go ahead.
So does Fenris recognize any of those names now that he actually hears them, as opposed to just
These
seeing?
are three of the three most famous mages across any world. You have heard legends of them at some point, especially if you're trained in Arcana. It's almost ridiculously level, like myth in some ways and in some worlds. But they are known for going across the various planes of existence in different worlds, even different worlds within the prime material plane. And so, yes, they are very famous, legendary archmages.
Well, I guess if you're here, there must be a reason for it.
Illustrial says.
So, make yourselves at home. I would request, if you don't mind, sticking around until we can figure out exactly why you're here. Unless
any of you know.
And what is this? Mordenkainen kind of mage hands one of the gloves from the spacesuit over to him, and it's got a little readout dial that's blinking away, trying to get signal.
His Excellency finishes taking off the pants, and you kind of see him. He's trying to. He looks soaked. It's quite wet, actually. He's been sweating profusely. And you can see visible relief on his face as he finally gets the bottom half of this off. And he's working away at something that's up around in his chest, trying to like use his fingers like a comb to get something out of his fur, and finally flicks it out. And this little tiny fairy floats up and says, "You may address His Excellency as His Excellency, for he is excellent when speaking to each other. When addressing His Excellency directly, you should address him as Your Excellency." And then His Excellency just, you can, that's enough. Go on. Go find, just go. That is a status monitor. Currently, it seems to be not connected to the network. Do you have a charge cable anywhere? And a comb. Does anyone have a brush or a comb?
Well, that I do have.
And
Why do
Illustrial
you keep
snaps her
talking of
fingers
these
in
weird things? What's a cable? What's a phone? What are you? Are you a bugbear? You're a very odd-looking bugbear.
A bugbear. It's been a long time since I've been somewhere where there were bugbears. In truth, no, I am not a bugbear. I am the Sasquatch.
What?
It's understandable that you do not know about me, but I am the Sasquatch. It will become clear in time.
And this phone
Mhm.
you asked for.
Mhm.
And this cable? What's a
Yes.
cable?
Well, you use the cable to connect the phone to the wall socket in order to charge it. It needs power in its battery. At least this is how it's explained to me. I never
It's
really
a battery.
It stores electricity, so I'm told.
Tasha walks
I
up
always
to you,
thought of
right up to you, and like pokes you in the chest. Just curiously, not aggressively. She's like,
You've been to Earthdawn.
I've been to where? Sorry, you glitched out there.
You've been to Earthdawn. The dawn of Earth. No?
I mean, dawn happened every 24 hours or so while I was there.
The electricity. The
Yes.
cables. You've been to Earth.
Yes. I spent at least 100 years there.
I don't go there very often. It's not a nice place.
Have you been to Sweden?
I have been there. They have good meatballs.
Good meatballs. And neighboring Finland, the saunas. Fantastic.
I might have to take your word for that.
Just stay away from Florida. It's problematic at the best of times.
Now, I haven't been there in a long time. Well, anyway, we'll talk. We will definitely avoid this Florida.
So, if I may ask you a question, or really of anyone, what planet is this? What year is it?
This is Sigil. It's kind of a realm between realms, as it were. At least this spot of it is. This is a safe spot within my sanctum. It's the Sigil Sanctum. A couple hundred years ago, I needed a place to just kick back, research, not be interrupted by various Inquisitor types. So, this seemed like a good out-of-the-way place, and I discovered, well, that. And
she points to the portal behind you, the waygate.
Well, this is the only working portal, at least for me, to this realm. So we can go wherever we want with that. I had to reactivate it with a magical item, and
Yes, we've all heard about your well of many worlds.
well, you asked, so it's fair game, okay? So, I activated it, and it reacts, and it can take us almost anywhere we want. And it's not observed.
Yes, the Lady of Pain will shred you if you try using a different method.
So this means that it's very secure.
Because no one else can come here except us.
Which is why I'm rather surprised to see you here.
Can it send me back to my forest?
Probably.
I was supposed to go do a job, and then I ended up here, and there are people who are counting on me. So, don't think I'm really supposed to be here.
Well, I hate to break it to you, says Mordenkainen, but there are many more people counting on us. In fact, perhaps all of them. That wish spell that you co-opted was supposed to solve our problems. They don't even know what the problem is, do they? I can see by the look on their faces.
Well then, I think it's only fitting we tell you.
Your world, and I do mean all of them, are in great danger. Have you ever heard of Vecna?
Gwendolyn, you've heard that name at least. You don't have to admit. Oh.
Okay. I don't have to say anything.
You don't have to.
Okay.
If you want to keep it quiet, though, I'm going to make you do maybe a persuasion, maybe a deception. It's your choice. Just to have something against which they can roll insight as they are studying the four of you very carefully.
Are we all allowed to? Are any of us allowed to roll insight?
Sure.
I rolled 12.
He's not paying attention.
Would any of the other of us would even know Vecna besides? I don't think so.
He's known for trying to keep and manipulate secrets. So unless you've come across specific, maybe certain symbols you might recognize, but the name doesn't have a lot of meaning right now to you. Specifically you.
I rolled a 12.
Roll a 13.
And what? And you got a. What did you get again?
The deception was 12.
It's more or less like I'm rolling not because I know what Vecna is, but more or less because I'm also studying all these new people around me that I don't trust.
That's fair. So
Gwen rolled a 12 and I rolled a 13.
Right. So everybody else kind of looks around like, and Gwendolyn's a little slow in that reaction. Just like, oh, right, I'm supposed to look like I don't know what that is. And unfortunately, I think most of the room picked up on your awkward silence there for a moment. And Tasha goes up to, like, marches away from His Excellency and goes right up to Gwendolyn and looks her in the eye and then turns back to the others and is like,
She knows him. She has to know him. Look at that face. You're gorgeous, but look at that. Look at that. She knows it.
He was there and he introduced himself.
That's really all you know.
I don't know much of Vecna. It was just one time he pulled myself and a couple of a friend and some working, what to call them. We were doing a job together, and he was there, and then he let us go.
Well, my dear, to know anything of Vecna is more than most. So though you don't put much stock in that, trust me, you are ahead of the curve. Now the rest of you, there must have been something that caught you up in this. The wish spell would have worked its magic, even if we didn't intend it. I have a theory.
Oh, here we
You
go.
ac- What did you actually wish for?
Well, okay. So, I have been doing a lot of tracking of this Vecna and his secret cult for quite some time now. And I needed a little bit of backup, and honestly, we don't always work very well together, but these are the two that, well, I don't want to swell their heads, but these are the two other archmages that have enough power that I can trust to try to put a stop to Vecna's machinations. It is my theory he's already very powerful, but he's trying to elevate himself.
He's trying to take godhood to the next level.
He is an archlich, basically a god already. And he's existed for a long time. Even longer than me. And you. And you, as he looks at the others. And
He's trying to rewrite reality, as far as we can tell. From what we've pulled from our research, from his followers we've caught. You may have seen them before. Creepy little rogues, like to chop off their hands, pull out their eyes, make kind of magical items about them. Use them as items of power, giving up parts of their secrets and their souls to feed their master.
And when he gets enough secrets, we think that he's going to do a ritual.
And if he completes that ritual, he will be able to rewrite reality itself and make himself the absolute ruler, even above all the gods and all the magic, and essentially make
reality his bitch.
Well, that's quite a story. So why don't you just let the gods deal with it?
Yeah.
Well, that's the funny thing about the gods. It's kind of like trying to explain to cats why they should do something. If they really don't want to do it, they just don't fucking do it.
And half the time, when you try to explain them to them, they arrogantly try to pretend like they already know. No offense to those divine. And Mordecai looks does a pointed look over towards Illustrial.
Yes, well, some are better than others, but basically, yeah. If we don't put a stop to this ritual, it's all over. And it doesn't matter which world. He ascended already in a few. But if he manages to do this across all of the planes and worlds of existence, that's it. Game over. And our wish spell was going to stop that ritual. He fuels his power on secrets. And the juicier the secret, the more of the power he can siphon from it. And so, we were trying to essentially cut off his power supply.
If we can make him unable to siphon enough power from his wishes, or from his secrets, then they're basically useless, and his ritual could not proceed. It was our best shot. But something went wrong.
Yes. Something went wrong.
And then you showed up. And I'm not saying you went wrong. If anything, you might be the wish spell. Trying to find a workaround is my inkling. And when I get a feeling, it's usually pretty right.
So, for some reason, you're all brought here. Well, what is that reason?
Mordekainen raises his hand like a schoolboy. I have a theory. I had a contingency plan. I didn't mention it because the wish spell was our best shot.
Perhaps it is still.
Well, regardless, I've been working on this. And may I? He motions towards a beautiful kind of display case filled with items. Even those who are not trained in Arcana are like, ooh, damn's juicy loots. There's a lot of beautiful, beautiful magic in this chest. And Lustrio kind of motions dismissively, and Mordekainen opens it up, and he pulls out a wind chime. And he says, I think that this might be our best backup plan. This is the chime of exile. If we can use this, and it's kind of got a circular top from which all these little kind of black shards and crystals are dangling from it, and it's got a crescent moon as a catch at the top, like a hook. And it is very clearly magical, and kind of as it moves, and it makes this slight little whispering sound. And so he's like, if we can get him weakened, this could send him back to Oerth, where he's from, and lock him there so that his machinations would be severely limited. The problem is,
he's a goddamn god. So, he's got to be weakened in order to pull that off.
yes, I was getting to that. There exists items, an item that might be able to weaken him sufficiently. 7 items made whole into one it is called the Rod of 7 Parts. If we can get this rod, the parts assembled, then it might weaken him enough to make him susceptible to this.
And let me guess. 7 parts, all lying in one easy-to-access place.
Nope.
No, I think I know what you're getting at.
Yes, the 7 parts have been spread out across the multiverse. And if we can find and retrieve them, or rather if someone can, then it might just give us a fighting chance.
So, tell us where they are.
I've only found one. The first rod piece. It's in a place. I haven't gone to get it myself because that place was relatively recently at war. And it had gone missing even from there. But I think I have found where it is. It's beneath a city named Tazverel. From there, we should be able to find the next piece once we have the first, and then the one after that, and so on.
Sounds like you have it all sorted out. Good luck to all of you.
We are busy trying to hold reality together.
You see, as we put our efforts into the wish spell, but, well, this machinations of the cult go on, and there's all kinds of problems and incursions of undead across various places they shouldn't be. We are stretched thin. And, let's just say we don't have time to go on a wild goose chase.
Yes, we do not. But perhaps you could find the time. And Mordekainen is talking to you when he says that.
I've already said I had a job to do, that I was going to be paid well for. And I have a bit of a reputation, so I don't agree to do things without following through.
Fair enough. You will be adequately compensated. And he motions again to the opulence of this place and the piles of magical items in the drawers and on tables. There's a goddamn bag of holding overflowing with gems, like decorating an end table. And
besides, there's something. Where are you from?
Tasha asks you specifically, Isolde.
Where is Isolde from? Where were we from, Gord?
Tazverel.
Tazverel? Yeah.
And you tell him that?
Yeah, I don't see why she wouldn't mention that.
You are telling me that you happen to be from the world where the first piece of the rod happens to be confirmed to be. I would almost venture to say that you are all more caught up in this than meets the eye. I don't know where this will go exactly, but I think you are already bound to this.
The wish spell could have brought together the answers to our question, to our request, without us really understanding the outcome. I think you might be right, Mordekainen. These 4 strangers are tied up in this. I just don't see how yet. Anyway, regardless, you all look...
And she looks up and down the giant fuzzy Sasquatch and is like,
You look a little bit tired, so, why don't you retire to the apartments above? Just pick any of the doors on the left and make yourselves at home. We can talk about this after a rest. servants can bring you food. You are safe here. And if you don't choose to help us, that's fine. We can work to send you back where you come from. But if you do, please consider.
We need you. We need your help. And I hope you realize it pains me to admit that.
And I. But if you would consider helping us, it would be a great boon for all the worlds. Help us get the rod. Help us assemble it.
His Excellency kind of been quiet, taking all of this in. He says, I have a couple of questions, but first, if you wouldn't mind, he turns to where his furry friend has kind of disappeared out the door and kind of shouts after it and says, "Hey, Crisaltino Aguilera, this isn't the world. You may want to go back." Sorry, they've been looking for their homeworld. Two things. Is there a bath, and can I borrow your blow dryer? Have gotten used to modern conveniences. It is sad to say. I did bring my own shampoo.
It's prescription. All right. Well, it is getting late, and I don't.
Fucking kill me.
So you have a choice to make for next week. If you want to help, or just do your own thing. And I guess we'll leave it there, unless you guys want to do something more.
No, I do have an ad, though.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. I think we'll call it there for the night. It's been a long haul, and I appreciate your patience. But we're all finally gathered together, and we'll see what happens next. I do request, if you don't mind, an episode title. And listeners and viewers, you are welcome to make suggestions for this as well. What are we feeling?
Yes.
I don't have one this week. Normally I do.
Wishy-Washy Witches?
Ooh,
A wish and a prayer. I don't know.
those are both pretty good. Wishy-washy on a wish, a wash, and a prayer.
I wish my witch would wash me.
Hey, that's better than what I had. I had hell titties.
Oh shit. I wish my witch would wash me.
I wish my witch would wash me. Fantastic. All right. Well, thanks very much, and we'll come back again on another Thursday.
Three little archmages.
I'm sorry?
Or three little archmages.
3 little archmages. Well, hey, maybe that'll be the next one.
Oh, God.
All right. Well, thanks very much. And Internet, we'll see you next time. And players, thank you so much. All right. That's it from us. We're going to sign off tonight, but thank you very much. And we will see you next time. Probably a Thursday night, I believe, in likely a couple of weeks. Unless I'm on summer, so I can do almost every week, except the occasional when I'm traveling. But we'll jump on the messenger. All right. Good night, Internet, and thanks for dropping by. And we do have an ad coming up after our quick little credits. right, Internet. We are going to be back next Tuesday. Tune in live. Don't forget to join us and spend some of those plot points.
Hello there.
So, yeah, or just soundboard requests or whatever. And now, a word from our sponsor. Not actually sponsored.
Silky, smooth, flowing, shiny, luxurious, luscious, aromatic, cozy, soft, warm, strong, tensile, bright and full. If your hair cannot be described by any of these adjectives, what's wrong with you? Why do you neglect your hygiene to that extent? I mean, seriously, listen. If you're a Wookiee, a Yeti, a skunk ape, a wood ape, a regular ape, a Yowie, grassman, Wendigo, you're probably a very hairy being. It's likely people have something to say about that, and it's probably derogatory, because people are assholes. Give them something to talk about. Make your coat a thing of unparalleled majesty. Use Uncle Scruffy and Auntie Scraggle's Beard and Bush Wash. Made with the finest natural, unnatural, and supernatural ingredients, Uncle Scruffy and Auntie Scraggle's Beard and Bush Wash transforms even the most disgustingly matted shambles into a coat of luxurious fur, ready for the blood red carpet. Coconut oil, argan, jojoba oil, shea butter, aloe vera, tea tree oil, hydrolyzed quinoa protein, xanthan gum, citric acid, lemon peel. None of these things are in our product. What is in it? Don't ask. It's better that way. Just trust us. It works. Uncle Scruffy and Auntie Scraggle's Beard and Bush Wash. No refunds.
I'm supposed to read that this is endorsed by Tasha. Is that right? Did I read the copy?
God damn, Steve, that cracked me up. All right, thanks. We'll be back in a few days. A few short days. Take care, folks. Good night.
I think I broke all again.
Oh.